Alright, time for my little base tour. This is the workshop. This is the blast furnace where we smelt iron ingots into steel ingots. And if I remember what my buddy was telling me right, you first got to grab, no, it's not the metal former, compressor. Universal fluid cell, it's filled with air. You grab that, you throw them in there. Now it's got the air. You can see the air is coming down, and then now it's cooking. It's very slow. Heat exchanger or electric heater powered by the power system, which I'll get into in a second. Then we've got the macerator, which turns things like coal into coal dust. Extractor for extracting things from other things, such as rubber from rubber trees. Basic electric furnace. Good amount of levels in there. Hoppers so that the quarries don't overfill it and start throwing shit all over the floor. This feeds down into the underground vault, which that was a pain in the ass to build. We'll get there in a second. Temporary storage. This is the EMC generator. So in this particular mod pack, what we have done, or what the one of the mod packs is specifically one called Project Red. It assigns what they call an EMC value to everything, which, if you look here, a block of diamond is 73,728 EMC. A stack is 2.5 million. Dirt's 1, and things range in between. So what the glowstone is on the outside of these energy collectors, which when exposed to a light level of 15 will produce 4 EMC per second. Then there's relays, which are buried deeper inside this design, which is called a power flower, that relays, basically each relay's got a energy collector on each side, and then each energy collector's got a glowstone on every exposed block. And that all feeds into here. And this is how we're able to do some of the crazy shit that we do, because this is sitting here producing EMC for us. And I also have the quarry feeding things like gravel, dirt, and cobblestone, basic resources where it's basically an infinite amount, into the EMC generator to help further boost. By the way, the game's been running for 3 days. We've produced this much blocks of diamond in that time. This also leads down into the quarry in the basement. These are our junk drawers. These are all of our various projects and what have you. This one here specifically is the project that created this, and it's the leftover scrap. This is for the Tinkerer mod. This is for what I specialize in, which is quarries, engines, oil, refineries, all that kind of fun liquidy power stuff. wood chest, fishing, forestry. We don't really have much there. We don't really mess with that. Plants and food. Just a large random chest. Other. One of the mods is called Thaumcraft. Mod drops so that we can keep it all in one location. If power's low, check wood mill. Replace iron rotor. That sounds like a lot of work. So there's multiple different types of power in this game. You've got redstone flux, which is what engines produce. You've got EU, which is electrical units, which things like windmills, things like water mills, nuclear reactors, which I'm nowhere near building, geothermal reactors, combustion engines through a converter, and they produce EU, which is what this bat box does. There's multiple tiers of EU output. Basic tier is 32 EU. Anything in the game can accept the basic tier, and that's essentially these first 3 machines. These next 4 machines can accept, so minimum tier is low voltage. These next 4 machines actually run best on medium voltage. but because the guy, my buddy that's in charge of all the electrical side of things, did not want to mess with that too much, because he'd basically have to take this compressor and shift all of this over one more block so that he could bring the medium voltage in over here so that it doesn't connect to this. Because if these get connected to medium voltage as low voltage only devices, they will explode. Same with this BAT box, which I believe stands for battery box. Do not enter, use high voltage suit if repairs are needed. I'm going to completely ignore this warning and walk in here. So we've got glass fiber, which has the lowest loss, which is actually an important thing, because if you are running long wires and so there's different tiers of wires. They all carry different EU, and they also have all different types of loss. If I come over here to the wire, no, that's not what it's called. It's called cable in this. Cable. All right, so this is your basic tier. Well, I guess 10 is in this particular mod. 10, 32 EU per tick. That is the max it can carry. And then as you insulate it, you can start, well, that's high voltage. Never mind. 10 cable. If you can see there, it says loss 0.2 EU per block. So if you put 1 EU in, for every block of length that cable has, you lose 0.2. So one block is now 0.8, then 0.6, then 0.4, then 0.2, and then there's no power. Insulation just means you can walk closer, or actually walk on it. Then you go to your copper cable, which has the same loss but can carry more EU per tick. So this is more like your medium voltage. Then you've got your gold cable, which is also medium voltage, just more medium voltage. And you can see the loss goes up, which in reality, gold would actually have the least amount of resistance to electricity. It would have the lowest ohm rating out of the three cables we've gone over so far, because gold is the best conductor outside of semiconductors at 0 degrees Kelvin that we know of, that I'm aware of, that we know of. Then we go to the high voltage cables. These are going to be your super high voltage stuff, but not your nuclear reactor, which is, so these are high voltage. Nuclear reactors put out, I believe they call it ultra high voltage, which is what the glass fiber is for. As you can see, it's 0.8 EU per block, so you can't run those very far. Thin glass fiber. You can run one of those from a nuclear reactor and you won't have to worry about it blowing up your cable. Also has the lowest EU loss per block, so it's just straight up the best cable in the game. It's just really expensive to build. So you got your MFE. I guess I do need to replace the iron rotor, but that's not going to happen right now. Then it goes from, as you can see, your medium voltage to your medium voltage. Then it goes to your low voltage, and then it feeds into the BAT box and then to the rest of the system. So the big windmill appears to be broken, but it is roughly the size of that platform up there. Then you've got all the water mills down here, and you've got your basic windmills. This out here is my most recent thing I built. It is the water pumps that are going to cool the combustion engines that run the entire refinery process as well as themselves. And as you can see, they're pumping away. If you don't have water, these will eventually overheat and explode. But I figured out a way to get around that. Those are AND gates. That's a problem. Doesn't seem to be a problem, but that gate there basically says if it is within those two temperature ranges, blue and green, then it'll run. If it goes to red or overheat, it will shut off. Meaning I don't actually need water to run these. I just need fuel. But I like to run water because it allows for a better efficiency, because then it's not going to be sitting there tweaking out between green and red, which lowers the efficiency of the engine. All right, headed back inside the workshop. There's 3 levels to this. I've only covered 1 level so far. Let me close these doors so nothing comes in after me. All right, down to level 2, main storage. So, level 2, there are 40 diamond chests, which, if I'm not mistaken, is roughly 1.5 times the size of a normal double chest and the size of a single chest. And as you can see, I've got things organized. Each one of these diamond ones is a filter. And it tells me what goes into each one. The gold is what moves the objects the fastest. There's other colors or other materials you can make these pipes out of to get different things. You've got, like over here, you've got an obsidian pipe, which sucks up whatever you throw on the ground in front of it. Oops, didn't quite get that close enough. Come on, why aren't you working? Why is it when it's time for a demonstration nothing? There it goes. And then that pipe in the back there is a void pipe, which destroys whatever goes into it. And as you can see, this is where it goes up and into that EMC generator. This pipe here is what runs to that smelter up there. And then this is the remnant of my old filter. There's a couple of things that don't work in the smelters I have in the basement. This is the actual, so out this way, that's the quarries. We'll get into that in a second. That's the refinery room. We'll get into that in a second. But this is the main sorter right here. You can see a lot of shit going a lot of different ways. And then this is my catch-all chest, where things that I don't want stored in bulk because we don't get enough of them, they go in here. I occasionally clear it out. I'll have to close that later. And then it's just a bunch of organization. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of diamonds. Set those 2 there. And now down to this absolute headache of a system. This is the most recent big project that I worked on with all of my friends. I've got a 10-second timer. This red alloy wire works the same as the redstone dust you would lay across the ground, but instead of only going for 15 blocks, you can take a full strength redstone signal and shoot it out 255 blocks. Each one of these smelters is designated to a specific resource. Like this one, for example, is for iridium. What's nice about this particular mod pack, the Tinker's Construct Smelteries, is you put 1 block of, say, copper ore into it, and you get 2 ingots of copper ore, or 2 copper ingots out of it, instead of 1 out of your normal smelters. So for all the resources that we can use the smeltery on, we built a smeltery on for, so that we can double the resources coming out of the mine, basically maximizing our resource usage. And then from there, I ran the timer so that every 10 seconds it tells the spigot to pour out whatever's inside the or whatever's inside the smelters, pours it into the casting basin. Casting basin, when full, will be a full block. Then it gets pumped out, and each one of these is one of those chests that we just saw. And this is a chest for when I ask for my buddies when they're on and I'm not to do something for me, they throw it in there. So yeah, we've got a bunch of resources through here that are in process. But the quarries were down because I ran out of fuel and I was working on the refinery. And once I got the refinery running, was when I was going to make this video. And so I got the refinery running, so I'm making the video. This used to be how we got massive amounts of EMC quickly, the sugar canes. They're like 32 EMC a pop. You put torches around them, they'll grow day and night. So big old EMC farm. And now we'll get into what my buddy's girlfriend likes to do, which is aesthetics. I'm all about min-max. Maximum amount of stuff coming out of the minimum amount of space. Everything's utilitarian. There's not really any fancy stuff going on. The only I only recently started making things out of nice looking material, which is why everything that you'll know I built it because it's out of marble brick. Anyways, this is her big old farm because she also does all the cooking for us because she likes to do that. She likes to do the farming and the cooking. So this is the nice little windmill. It's got some nice paintings. It's changed since I last looked in here. I don't normally look in here. It's even nicer than it was before. And we go upstairs, and these are just chests and chests and chests and chests and chests and chests for wheat. Another room full of chests for wheat. And then just a nice little view. She's definitely been working on her and Tyler's home. There's the farm where she slaughters the animals en masse. Alright, let's go down. Break my knees. Nope, I didn't crunch. Ah. You can make this grass path by right-clicking with a shovel instead of left-clicking. Alright. I haven't actually looked at this in a little while. She's got corn, she's got carrots, got herself a nice little park bench, and the creativity she brings to this is spectacular. I fucking love it, because there's no way I'd ever come up with this. There's no way. Bird bath. I wouldn't even think about this type of stuff for a game like this. I found her horn that she likes to toot me off the fucking edge with. Food. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. I am so lost. That's cool. That's her cat. Ah, that's the back door to a nice little garden. We'll go upstairs. There's the dogs. There's the gooning bed. Just amazing. Like I said, that's not the type of build I go. This is one of our buddies jumped on for a very short amount of time, started building his house right where she wanted to build the rest of the farm, the non-wheat part of the farm. Hopped on, started building it, hasn't been on since. It's been like a month. The pigs, the sheep, the cows, the chickens, the original smeltery. This is what got me and my buddy to think about doing this. This is how we figured out we could automate it, and then I just took it to a whole different level. Me and the guy who built this smelter, I dug out the entire space down there. I ran all the pipes. I did all of the brainstorming, all of the figuring out how to get it all to work and automate. And he made all the brick, the faucets, the basins, and all the actual smeltery stuff for me. Here's the enchanting room. Once again, the reason it's surrounded by this is because the nice young lady that built that, she could not stand just having the, the enchanting room just sitting out as raw bookcases. Alright, here we are. World Spike. This is what allows the game to run when we are not on. I currently am running ender pearls through it. They give me about 4 hours a piece. At some point I'll put a hopper and fill the hopper with them because they only stack 16. Now this is what I do. We saw the quarry or the sorting, but this is what I actually do when I get on. So I build contraptions like this. So I have 4 oil pumps with world spikes spread out across the world. They are specifically, so I am here, and my oil is coming from way the heck over here on the other side of this desert. And it's coming through this ender tank, which the way these work is you choose a color, like a dye of some kind. Here we go, like a cactus green, rose red, yellow, blue, whatever it may be. And you can do any combination of those colors on top. So I color coded all oil as yellow. Each one of these tanks holds 96 buckets. There are 44 tanks here. I don't care. I don't know what the math is, but I'm going to do it on a calculator real quick because I'm absolutely insane. That is 4,224 buckets of oil stored here. Then we come to the distillery. And the distillery takes this cold oil and turns it into gaseous fuel and heavy oil, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the exact ratio, but it's pretty significant. It's like 20-1 or something like that. Gaseous fuel is going to run a good portion of our facility, and this will eventually be double-sided. There will be another one of this whole thing down this whole side here, but I needed to get this side up and running so that I could start. Basically, this kind of steamrolls, like it builds upon itself, and it makes it faster for me to get the next side up. So the heavy oil goes through here, a heat exchanger. It gets heated up from the lava I'm pulling from the nether, and it starts filling this one up. Eventually, I'll get another redstone engine, which is this type of engine instead of the combustion engine, because these don't have an overheat problem. And I will stick one on here, and it will when you put a redstone engine on one of these any type of wooden pipe, it'll extract from whatever it's attached to. So this now heated heavy oil will come here, and it will turn it into liquid fuel. And I think this is actually the heavy oil. I forget what this is called. I think I have a bucket somewhere. I'll have to adopt that. What is this called? Heavy oil hot. Okay, I was right. It is heavy oil. Okay, then I don't remember what these two are. So then in order for the liquid fuel to be usable, I have to cool it back down. So it goes through a heat exchanger, gets heated up, gets distilled, and gets cooled down, one of the two byproducts. And then it fills this up. Then the other byproduct comes through here and gets heated up again. It goes from hot to searing and gets converted into heavy fuel and residue. The whole point of this distillery process is, the way I have it set up, is so that none of the combustion engines ever have to worry about residue, because all the residue from the oil gets pulled out here at this distillery, and there will eventually, I think I have the void pipe on me. No, it's in the chest upstairs. I'll put a void pipe here, and I'll never have to worry about residue. Then the heavy fuel will get cooled down, because you can't use hot or searing in your combustion engines. And then it'll be stored here. Each one of these, so if I remember correctly, the math for the distillers is this one distiller will produce enough gaseous fuel to run 6 to 8 combustion engines full tilt 100% of the time. This distiller will produce enough of the liquid fuel to run, I think it's 4 combustion engines at the same time. And then the heavy oil, well, no, it's 6. It's the same, because the liquid fuel burns slower than the gaseous fuel, and the heavy oil or the heavy fuel burns even slower than the liquid fuel. So it's 6, 6, 6, all the way 6 to 8, 6 to 8, 6 to 8. I don't remember what it is. So, and I'm not going to split the ender tanks between, like, have them on different things. because you can. There's 6 sides to the inner tank. The inner tank will take everything you've put into it. You can put 6 pipes into one inner tank and fully max out the capacity of those pipes, which is like a couple hundred buckets per second or per hour or something like that. With the gold pipes, which is the fastest, it'll take all of it. You cannot overwhelm it. So by having both sets be the same, and then I can have as many ender tanks on the other side expelling as I want, as long as I don't exceed the pipe feed capacity of 2 gold systems. The water, I have 6 pumps through 6 different pipe systems running to one ender tank to get the maximum water flow out that I can. Because the water, each pump running on a combustion engine will cool, I think it's 4 combustion engines. And of those 4, one of them is going to be the very combustion engine that's powering the pump. So each one's only able to do 3. And then, finally, the quarries. So, where this refinery is built is where our original quarry is. As you can see, it was, I don't remember the exact dimensions, but it wasn't particularly large. But it got us going. This was number 2. It was 64 blocks by 64 blocks. This was number 3. Also a 64 block by 64 block quarry. As you can kind of vaguely see down in there, oil and lava block the quarries, but water does not. So that's an oil deposit. That's an oil deposit. Oh! There we go. That's an oil deposit. That's an oil deposit. That's several oil deposits. What's getting me about this mod pack is I've played a lot of these mods and other mod packs before, but I've never had oil show up underground without a spout going up to the surface. So this has really been throwing me off. Here's one of the quarries. I'm not getting fuel here yet because the pump system is still trying to catch up to everything. Yeah, so here's one quarry, and here's another one that's partially set up. I don't have the combustion engine set up. I don't have the fuel set up yet. Not quite ready. Now, I want to do something. Set up this. And you can feel better if you actually pours. Cut. Boom. As you can see, it turns red. There's just no fuel yet, so it's not going to actually power anything. Yeah, so that's the entirety of the base. 100% of it that I'm aware of at this time. There's another guy that plays with us who sinks a lot more hours than the rest of the friend group does. So we told him that he can play on this server because it runs 24/7. Just that his main base where he does all of his super advanced stuff needs to be located elsewhere because we played this is our second server, and we shut down the first one because we had one guy play like 16 hours a day for 3 weeks straight, and he basically just skipped us past everything, got to the end game, and everyone else was kind of like, well, that takes all the fun out of the game. A lot of the fun of this type of game with this mod set is going through the stages, right? Building the quarries to get the resources, to build more quarries to get more resources, to, to do that kind of stuff. There's still a lot to come. Quarries are going to get ever more wild. Oh, I forgot to mention, the world spikes kind of load a 3 chunk by 3 chunk area at all time. Which, I don't remember the size of a chunk. I want to say it's either 64 blocks or 100. It's some sort of multiple of 64, whether it's 128, 256, or 512. I don't remember. Is that a sunrise or a sunset? So yeah, this is the server. Let's climb up here, see if we can get a good look at the sunset. Birdie. Here's the base from above. Oh yeah, I forgot about the solar panel. Oh shit. And that's where I'll end it.